Powered by the Montana Television Network. This is the 530 News on Q2, Montana's news leader.
Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Russ.
And I'm Jeanelle Slade. 2 men are behind bars. A woman is dead. And all of this sparks a human trafficking investigation in South Billings.
It all started here at a trailer park on Laurel Road when an altercation and group beating took place. Tonight, the 20-year-old woman who showed up at a local hospital earlier this week has died from her injuries.
But despite police saying they're treating this as a death as a homicide, the 18-year-old woman who prosecutors say pulled the trigger has not been charged.
Instead, the focus is on these men, 38-year-old William Newkirk and 29-year-old Javon King, who are in custody for assaulting the 18-year-old who fired the gun. Both were booked into the Yellowstone County Detention Center on felony aggravated assault by accountability.
Q2's Andrea Lutz has been sifting through the court documents all afternoon.
And she joins us now to break it all down. Andrea?
That's right. Well, Russ and Jeanelle, prosecutors say the 18-year-old female who pulled the trigger is also a victim of a group beating where Newkirk, King, and the woman who has died and is now identified as Kayana Gonzalez played a role. The altercation started Tuesday when Newkirk started pressuring the 18-year-old who has not been identified to date him, and she said no. The 18-year-old was driven to a trailer park on Laurel Road. It's at this location authorities say they're investigating human trafficking, though prosecutors have not identified victims or suspects in charging documents. Gonzalez started to strike the 18-year-old in the face, leaving her with a swollen eye and facial fractures. When she didn't comply with getting out of a vehicle, Newkirk and King also started to beat her. Prosecutors say the 18-year-old grabbed a gun from the center console of the vehicle, intending to shoot it in the air to scare someone. As King grabbed her feet to pull her out of the vehicle, that's when the gun went off and a bullet striking Gonzalez. Gonzalez was loaded into a vehicle driven to St. Vincent Healthcare for treatment, and ultimately that is where she died. The 18-year-old ran away. Now, Newkirk was arrested on an unrelated warrant and told police he was robbed by the women. He also denied any involvement in human trafficking. Russ and Jeanelle.
All right. Thanks so much, Andrea.
Well, tonight authorities have released the names of 2 young men who died in a head-on crash in Huntley last night.
The Yellowstone County coroner says the victims are 21-year-old Taylor Larson and 19-year-old Anthony DeLeo. And the crash happened on Highway 312 near Jute Street. Trooper Barry Mitchell tells Q2 it was a near head-on crash. The white Dodge pickup was heading east and moved into the westbound lane, colliding with the blue pickup heading west.
And Mitchell says he and other Highway Patrol investigators were on scene today but have not determined why the truck drifted into the other lane. He said no one saw the crash and that has slowed the investigation.
Switching gears to the weather scene tonight, Bob McGuire. The storm, it appears it skipped over Billings, but it's making a straight line to other parts of our region.
Yeah, kind of doing an end run around us, and that's what we thought it would do because the severest storms are going to be west of Billings. We were reporting that last night. Let me show you what's happening right now. Doppler radar shows you the line of showers started out in the southwest corner of the state and also down around Yellowstone Park. We see some moving into that area. Let's take away and show you what's happening out there. I'll show you some of the little blue stuff. That's the hail track. So far, the hail seems to be going around the Billings area, but look it up there in the northeast corner of the state. That's where we have Petroleum County and Phillips County. Until 6:15, that's a severe thunderstorm warning for 60-mile-per-hour winds and quarter-inch size hail moving into that area. Actually, quarter, like a 25-cent quarter piece of hail. And as you'll notice, Doppler radar shows you those heavy showers and thunderstorms continue to move into that area right around Fort Peck Reservoir. And so what we're looking at, those showers will continue to do an end run around us for the rest of the night. We do have a severe thunderstorm watch right in that area highlighted in yellow. And by tomorrow, that stuff makes its way over, it kind of jumps over Billings and heads into the eastern edge of the state. We'll have more on that coming your way in a few more minutes.
All right. Thank you, Bob.
Well, today marks the 75th anniversary of the largest invasion by air, land, and sea in history.
And one Western Montana organization was in the heart of the remembrance ceremonies in France. On June 6, 1944, soldiers, planes, and ships from the U.S., Britain, and Canada stormed the Nazi-occupied French beaches of Normandy. Right in the middle of the commemoration of the epic D-Day invasion, is Missoula's Miss Montana after more than a year of hard work and preparation.
The World War II era C-47 plane took part in the presidential flyover this morning above Omaha Beach and the coastline where thousands of lives were lost. President Donald Trump and First Lady Melania joined French President Emmanuel Macron and his wife Bridget at the flyover ceremonies.
Also there for the ceremonies in Normandy was Billings World War II veteran Bud LeCount, despite having to undergo an emergency hip replacement this week. Now here's a picture of Bud with his daughter. He took a nasty fall when he arrived in France this week, but amazingly was still there for the ceremony, although in a wheelchair. If you saw any of the CBS footage of the president speaking this morning, Bud was right there behind him in the first row. I spent some time with the 96-year-old veteran before he departed for France, and he reflected on what it was like there on Omaha Beach 75 years ago.
When I landed, the chaos on that beach was just unbelievable and impossible to describe. A guy can't describe it because you don't see very much of it. First place, you're so damn scared you can't see.
Well, being there for the Normandy invasion is just one part of Bud LeCount's amazing life, and I hope you'll tune in to see the full story. That's coming up tonight on Q2 News at 10.
Well, it's official. Now Republican Congressman Greg Gianforte is running for governor of Montana in 2020. He took the first step today toward launching his campaign. Gianforte filed his fundraising paperwork late Thursday with the State Political Practices Office, in which he says he will run for governor. Now, Gianforte will formally kick off his campaign late next week in conjunction with the State Republican Party Convention in Helena. The Bozeman businessman is the fourth Republican to join the 2020 race for Montana's top job. Democratic Governor Steve Bullock is barred by term limits from running again. Gianforte's primary competitors at this point are Attorney General Tim Fox, State Senator Al Olszewski of Kalispell, and Secretary of State Corey Stapleton. Now, so far, a Democratic candidate has not announced for the governor's race. Gianforte's entry into the governor's race also means Montana's only U.S. House seat will be open and up for grabs next year.
Despite previously believing that he met the criteria for the debate stage, Governor Steve Bullock is now missing the mark. The Democratic National Committee is responsible for establishing rules to qualify for the debates, and now it says Bullock doesn't meet either of its qualifying options. Those options are 1% in 3 national or state polls or 65,000 unique donors. The cutoff date to meet that criteria is next Wednesday, June 12th. The Bullock campaign says the criteria was made behind closed doors and has been brought out to single him out. Meanwhile, the DNC says the Bullock campaign has been aware of the poll criteria for months.
The U.S. Veterans Administration kicked off a significant change to its health care system today. The VA Mission Act passed a year ago by Congress. Montana Senator Jon Tester, who played a key role in getting that bill passed, was in Helena today at the VA Health Center at Fort Harrison. He spoke to MTN's Mike Dennison afterwards about his hopes for this overhaul.
The biggest change in the Mission Act makes it easier for veterans to get medical care outside the VA system, from private sector physicians, hospitals, and clinics. Vets will be able to seek outside care if their wait to see a VA doctor is at least 20 days.
And what we tried to do with the Mission Act is make sure that the veterans got care, quality care, in a timely manner. And if we get it implemented correctly, that's exactly what's going to happen.
About 47,000 Montana military veterans use the VA health system, and as many as 30,000 more may be eligible. The Mission Act replaces the 2014 Choice Act, which Tester called a train wreck from the get-go because of its many problems in trying to arrange outside care. He told reporters Thursday that Congress gave the VA a year to get the new changes ready, and that communication will be the key to making it work.
The biggest thing is making sure the veterans know what is going on with the Mission Act and know where to go if they have problems. I think that's the big one. There's been a lot of outreach done already. I think that outreach needs to continue.
Tester also emphasized that the VA health system isn't going away and that the Mission Act also works to beef up that system by improving staff recruitment and other steps. And Tester promised that Congress will be keeping a close eye on the changes to see how they're working or not.
The real important day isn't today, it's a year from now when we can have this same press conference, and I can tell you without reservation that it's lived up to expectations.
The Mission Act is a big change for one of the biggest healthcare systems in the nation. And as Senator Tester said here Thursday, only time will tell if it works out as planned. At Fort Harrison, Mike Dennison, MTN News.
Senator Tester is the ranking Democrat on the Senate Committee on Veterans Affairs.
Family Service is moving into its new downtown Billings location.
Q2's Rob Griggs says the new facility has a very special feature that you're all going to love.
Well, one of the exciting things about Family Service and their new facility is the opportunity to donate in any weather whatsoever. The new Family Service location down here on 1st Avenue South has a drive-through donation zone, and it really makes it convenient because, as we know, in Billings and in Montana, the weather can be a little ratty at times or can be hot. This new location down on 1st Avenue South allows you to bring a vehicle virtually of any size if you have a donation of gently or new clothing, or perhaps gently used, I should say, or if you have furniture, maybe you have some household furnishings of some kind. You have all kinds of opportunity now to come through. Look at this. This is great. Indoor drive-through Family Service. And of course, this starts on Monday, and it just has never been this convenient. Hi, guys.
Hi.
I have a donation.
Awesome, thank you.
This is really great, isn't it?
It's wonderful.
Thanks.
I'm loving it. In Billings, Rob Griggs, MTN News. See ya.
All right, thanks so much, Rob.
In addition to taking drive-through donations, beginning Monday, Family Service will hold a grand opening of its new facility. That'll be next Friday.
Coming up on tonight's 5:30 News, thousands of years of history and only decades of recognition in Montana. We'll take a look at Buffalo Jump State Park.
And in sports, Scott checks in with your Class B football all-stars who paint a picture of their summer jobs.
You're watching MTN News with Jeanelle Slade and Russ Riesinger. Storm Tracker weather with Bob McGuire. And sports with Scott Green. This is the 5:30 News on Q2, Montana's news leader.